we're all like just like really, really, really good runners. And there's only 400 meters to the finish. And, you know, I just found a second gear, and then I found a third gear, and then I found a fourth gear, and next thing you know, I was pulling away. I was 100 meters ahead, and maybe not 100, but whatever. And I got to do a little celebration, a little point to the sky, thanking God. And,
as you crossed the line or what?
Yeah, a little bit before. I got a little picture of it. It's cool.
What's up, guys? Welcome into another episode of the Cutting Up Podcast. Today we have the man, former Indiana High School state champion, former Indiana Gatorade Player of the Year, former Big Ten Freshman of the Year, former All Big Ten first team, current All SEC second team, and just this past weekend, South Regional National champions as a team, former Indiana Hoosier, current Tennessee Vol, and one of the top collegiate runners in the nation, Gabe Sanchez. How we doing, my man?
I'm good, Jonas. How are you doing?
Doing good, my man. Good to get you back in here off of an incredible weekend, dude. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Pretty hyped up. You know, I had a pretty good performance. Performed top of my range, I'd say. Coach says I could have finished anywhere from like 5 to 12, and I pulled up with the 6th place. And maybe if I wanted to, could have fought for a fifth, but like, you
That's
know.
All right. We got to save it for this. You know, when is it? Is it this coming weekend?
This coming weekend. This Saturday, we'll be in Virginia, Panorama Farms, hoping to lay down some work.
My man, let's talk about it. Before we do, let's get this haircut squared away. Kind of a low bald fade, drop it in the back a little bit there.
Yeah, no, that sounds great.
Anything off the top?
Yeah, maybe like a little like half inch. You know, you can see it's kind of growing in.
Yep.
Pretty heavy here. The flow is kind of flowing, which I like. But, you know, I'm going to let it go for a month. Just like, you know, just a little bit off of it.
A little half inch right there.
Yeah,
blend it all. Perfect, my man. Sounds like a plan. So, yeah. So, first off, let's talk about this past weekend. You guys went down to Gainesville.
Yeah.
And both the men's and the women's team swept first place. Yeah. First time ever?
First time ever, I believe. That's history.
Tell us about the meet, dude. How'd it go?
Yeah, it was exciting. We actually chartered to that meet, which was really fun. So we pulled up to the Knoxville airport, and you know, they dropped us off out front. We got our flicks going on the plane. The dress code was actually, in quotes, Gabe Sanchez drip. So you know, I kind of got a little reputation to hold, and I bring the swag from day to day. And it started off with a fun trip. Everyone got dressed up. Seeing them looking pretty spiffy was nice. I put on a nice little fit myself, and by the time we landed, I already had like an Instagram post popped up, so I did like a little photo shoot of myself in the plane. So that was a good start to it. We were there 2 days early, so we got to, you know, get a run in around town. We were literally right next to Gainesville's campus, so that was pretty sick. I actually saw a gator first day we were there. It was in like this like little pond right near campus. Baseball stadium was huge, literally just like cement walls. It looked like it could be like a semi-professional team played there, like super sick. Girls, just some dimes, just like absolutely hair flowing in the wind. Like it was pretty solid experience there for the first couple of days, just walking around, seeing campus. We got lunch there, and we did a little course preview the day before, and that was literally just jogging the course, which is on a golf course. And then some chill time in the hotel and playing games, and then next thing we knew, it was race day, you know?
Gabe Sanchez drip, dude. What is that? Tell us, what's the Gabe Sanchez drip, dude?
You know, it really just depends. I mean, for an overview, I've been shopping at Urban kind of often recently. I get a lot of my drip from like Goodwill and stuff. So it kind of just depends on the day. It's like some days it's street, some days it's preppy, and some days it's, you know, pretty casual, but it's never like athletic gear, you know? It's like we have a cop-out of like wearing athletic gear all the time, and
right.
I just hate to do that. I feel like it's only meant for like athletic wear when we're in practice. We have some articles of clothing that are like, oh, you can wear that as casual wear, but I mean, for the most part, it's like
walk around in sweatsuits all day.
Yeah, I'm not really about that. Like, I'm trying to look the best I can whenever I can. So
facts. When
I wake up, it's like I'm gonna throw something in the bag, and it usually just comes together, you know, like.
So you got that Joe Burrow drip.
Yeah, I got a little bit of
pulling up in the coat and everything,
exactly,
bro.
You know, like
There's a level. You got to have confidence to do it, bro. Because if you can't walk up wearing that and then get 50th place. You know what I mean? Like you got to show up and pull up with the top 10. You know?
No, I mean that's the thing too. Is like,
my bad.
Not to be like too flashy or anything, but like just for jokes, I like we get a lot of camera attention with the running team, which is awesome. We've never had it before. Like at IU, that's probably something they lacked a little in, and here it's just like. It's bizarre. It's crazy. It's every workout. It's every travel trip. It's every race. And so because of that, to diversify the clips, I'm throwing on the flashy sunglasses. I'll throw on change, accessories, like to let them know that it's not all in the same training session. So
yeah.
Sometimes I do get a little crazy with it, just like the mix up of like fits and accessories just for like the video clips. But so far I've had a reason to. Like I've been popping out at races and everything's been going really well.
So finish 6, coach said you could have finished top 5. What happened?
What happened? I mean, like, you know, you never know what the competition is going to be like going into the race. Maybe a little bit. The individuals will come and surprise me, but, you know, I was in with like 2K to go, which was like a lap. It was me and the chase pack of the chase pack. This one Alabama guy broke away super early. Everyone just let him go. So for 8,000 meters of the race, there was places 2 through 10 just like chilling together. I was in that pack. My teammate, Yassine Abdallah, multi-time All-American and a top 10 in collegiate time in the 3K all time. He's a dog. He broke away with 2, 3, 4. So it left me with 5, 6, 7, 8. And I was pretty confident, running pretty smooth with that group. Once they broke away, I felt like I was the most comfortable and running the best out of them. And I ran, you know, the wheels off of 4 or 5 of those guys. And then the guy in front of me, he was on some random team. I wasn't worried about it. He was starting to pick it up. He was hurting. I looked behind me. Those guys are dropped. I'm like, I don't know if this one guy is really worth it. So I ended up pretty much cruising it in, smiling, winking at my friends and fans out there and pointing up to the clock when I ran sub 29. It's just pretty exciting, actually.
Is that a PR for you? Or?
Huge PR, yeah. I mean, we only run 10K 2 times in the cross season. I only ran it once on the track, and it was a PR all around. So over a minute too. I mean, I think the course was a little short, so maybe you can add like 35 seconds, 40 seconds to that. But even if you add that, like it's still a PR by like 30 seconds. So I'd say I was pretty happy with it. I felt calm and controlled. And in the middle of the race, I gave a wink to my coaches who were cheering me on. So felt good, but I didn't feel like I needed to work for that 5th place. Honestly, he was just kind of going balls to the wall, and he probably would have, I don't know, died before letting me finish past him. So yeah, he can have this one. Maybe I'll get him at Nationals.
So going into the race, did you guys know like you had a chance to, because we talked about this before, top 2 teams qualify.
Yeah.
So the top 2 overall teams will make it to Nationals. Mm-hmm. This was the qualifying match to get Nationals. If you don't finish, if your team doesn't finish 1st or 2nd, you have to qualify as an individual, right?
Yeah.
So going into it, did you guys think you had a pretty good chance to be 1 or 2, or was that kind of a surprise?
No, I mean, coming into the season, we were ranked, preseason ranking to win it. So we had that favor coming in, but Alabama had a crazy SEC year, and they ended up beating us by quite a bit of points. They came away with it was a close one. I think it came down to a couple points, but they edged us out for 2nd place. We were 3rd. And so after that, they took over the #1 spot. They were supposed to win our regional, but they ended up getting 3rd. I don't even think they qualified as a team. There is an extra way to like qualify with like this point system after being outside of 1 and 2, but I don't think they got it. So,
and that's the same Alabama team that just beat you guys, 2 weekends before in the SEC championship, right?
Yeah. So I think they peaked early or something. I know they had one guy kept saying he kind of threw, I think, for them. And if he would have finished where he finished the SECs, which was a spot ahead of me, would have been 5th in this race, then I think they would have qualified as a team. We still would have been 1st or 2nd. We would have gone through. We didn't expect that FSU was going to like have a good day. We wanted to get through, but we knew it wasn't going to be easy. Or we had a day on both our men and women's side. So
you stepped it up a minute PR.
Yeah.
Shout out, was there anybody else in your guys' it's your top 7, right?
Yeah.
Anyone else there for you guys that showed up and had a PR last weekend?
I think about everybody had a PR.
Really?
Like I said, I think the course was a little short, but you know, even if you take that and add it to our times, I think everyone probably still would have PR'd. Like our guys showed out, and our number 6 on the team finished 5th or 4th for us. He had a day, and then our number 1 just does his thing. He was 3rd, and he's a dog, so you know, I think we had a pretty good day. Dean, I was running with him for a while. He's our number 2, 3, depending on the day, and he was huffing and puffing next to me early on. I was scared that he was going to drop out, and that would have been our race, but he held on for an 11th place finish. So I think for out early, he was huffing and puffing 2K in with 8K to go. I was surprised he held it together. That was really impressive. If I was hurting like he was, I don't know if I would have done the same. So shout out to him.
So this weekend coming up, we're headed to, where'd you say Nationals was?
We're in UVA, so
okay.
Virginia. Panorama Farms is the location. It's I don't know, 15 minutes off campus. But
another charter? We getting charter for this or what?
We're on a bus, but we're going to leave early, so we'll be at Virginia Tech Wednesday.
You're going to tell them that's the good vibes. That could be,
that
could be the reason you guys led up to winning is because of charter, you know?
Exactly. We try.
You don't want to ruin it. You don't want to be
PJ
suspicious
somewhere.
here, but that could have been the thing that changed it, you know?
It really could
you think it might have been a shorter course. I think it might have been the charter. That should be a full-time thing for now on.
That's what I'm saying. I'd be down for that.
Do you have what's your outfit? You got it picked out already?
Yeah, because it's already in the itinerary, so we got to wear sweats to the bus. But
it's not gonna let you pull up in your trip.
Not for the 7-hour bus ride, unfortunately. I might bust out a fit to dinner though. 2 days before, get some Italian pasta in me, and I'll be looking like a mobster or something. Who knows? But maybe I'll bring a fit. I probably will.
So tell me this, man. What are the realistic expectations for this coming weekend? Obviously, we want to win as a team. You want to, set another PR, get first place as an individual. But what are we going in there with the mindset of? What are realistic expectations for you yourself and for the team as a whole this coming weekend in Nationals?
Yeah, I'll start team aspect. Realistically, there are 3 or 4 teams that are just going to be almost impossible to beat. They're a lock-in. They have foreigners, or they just have the best recruits in the country. And while we are getting some of the best, and we have an amazing coach, we are in the middle of a big transition here because he's only 2 years in now. But the amount of difference that he's made in 2 years is insane. You just had 2 region winners as a team come in, and that's never been done before. And we have a squad that's been deeper than they've ever had here. So realistically going in, I think we could be a top 8 team. That'd be pretty nice. Like I said, those 4 are pretty solid. We have some pieces, and if we perform like we've been performing, I think we could be top 10. But if those pieces show up and show out like they have the potential to, we could be a lock-in for that top 6 spot, And that's on our men's side. Our women's side has just been getting better and better every single race. They can be top 10 as well, I believe. They just beat Florida, and I think they were ranked pretty high. They weren't supposed to be Florida at all, and they just went crazy. We've introduced new freshmen every single meet pretty much this year for the women's side, and they have 3 freshmen in the top 7, so they're looking to do some new things, and they got a lot of experience, and as it's growing, I feel like they can only get more dangerous. So top 10 for them, hopefully, top 6. I think they're just going to surprise everybody.
On you personally? Side, you individually?
Individual side, a part of getting us to a top 10 finish is me being top 60. All-American is top 40.
That's what we're going for.
My coach said I could be, I'm on the edge of All-American status. So I think if I run like I have been, which is really consistent from race to race, just do it the way I've been doing it, I think top 40 is really reasonable. And if I have a good day, maybe I'm higher than that. Top 30, I don't know. That could be crazy, but
so All-American, that's the goal.
All-American is the goal. So my first time ever. Last year I was 97th. Individual, I didn't have the team behind me because I only went as an individual. So with a lot more to race for, I feel like that's going to be huge. I'm way better than I was, and I got a lot of family going. So I got a lot more reasons to be a lot better than I was.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I wish you the best, dude. I want to see you take home All-American, dude. That's going to be sick, bro. That's going to be sick.
I appreciate it, man. I'm excited. And doing it first time ever, it's like a lifetime goal pretty much. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you talked about obviously improving a lot from this year, having the team behind you, which is not something you had previously. I want to talk a little bit about that and your transition this year. You used to be you spent, was it 3 years? 2 or 3 years? 3 years at Indiana University. You were a Hoosier, which is where I'm from.
Yes, sir.
And so you decided this year to transfer into Tennessee. I want you to talk a little bit about that process and that mindset, because obviously, like you've said, it's obviously already paid its dividends. It's been a great decision. You've been so much better, and the team aspect has been a boost for you as well. Talk a little bit about why you decided to come to Tennessee and what made you want to do that.
Yeah, so I guess the decision all started when my coach decided he was going to retire last year. Kind of a surprise. I didn't know what was going to happen when I was recruited there, but he was the reason I wanted to go to Indiana. He had a proven track record of great distance runners, and they had a great team at the time when I was coming in. And him announcing his retirement was just kind of a surprise. And then we continued on to, have this season we did, which was really like me and my teammate, we were having a show up front. We were running really well, but, the rest of our team kind of just like wasn't performing. Like, they had a lot of potential. They were really good coming out of high school, great recruits, great guys. It was just a little frustrating with the performances that were happening when, they could be so much more. And a lot of that just kind of built up frustration, kind of led to that decision. And the biggest thing for me, honestly, was qualifying for nationals as an individual. Like, I went into that regional meet, my teammate had a bad day. He should have qualified with me. And I lost him halfway to the race. And when I lost him, I was like, I don't even know if I want to qualify for nationals if I'm not going with the team, It was just kind of a shame that I even had that thought in my head. And I literally almost gave up mid-race for that race. And fortunately enough, I decided to get my head back into it and chase down the pack that was going to be top 15. And I ended up being 14th and passing some good individuals. And that got me through. But, it was just kind of that mid-race moment, that feeling, and then getting there and experiencing it all alone. It just wasn't the same as when I went with my freshman year as an alternate. And that's just, it changed my performance. I think I would have been maybe better if not, 10 places. If I had a team with me, behind me, we were in and out. Like, it was a short experience. And then we went on the track season, and, at that point, it was like a lot of my teammates had already decided they were going to hit the portal. And I was already feeling frustrated, so I thought I'd do the same. At least check out my options while they were trying to find a new coach still. They hadn't found one.
Yeah.
They ended up getting a good coach. They have a good coach now. They're just, still missing some pieces. And we had our top 2 guys leave with like a couple other really good individuals transferring out as well. So the team they're going to be rebuilding. They'll be good in a couple years. They had a really good recruiting class this year. They'll do the same in the next couple years, I hope. And I wish the best for them, and I love those guys. But for me personally, the best thing I could do was, kind of pursue a different career, a different route. And when I was in the portal searching, I reached out to Coach Carlson, who's the current cross-country coach for men and women here. Mm-hmm. We talked a little bit in high school when he was at Notre Dame, but I didn't have like a high enough SAT score, which was like, I needed to have like a 1300 and I only had a 1200. So, yeah, Notre Dame standards are pretty insane. So he's like, I'd love to talk to you. You got a lot of potential, but I don't think this is really going to work out unless you retake that test. And that year, I didn't have it in my schedule to really even take that. So we didn't really continue talking after that. But I texted him and he gave me a call 10 minutes later and said, hey, man, I think you have a lot of potential still. And let's get you down here to Tennessee. Like, we're going to make this work. And he was kind of on it from the jump, and that was exciting.
So did you even look at any other schools or talk to any other schools, or was this was your one spot? You knew where you were going?
I wanted to see my options. So I was looking around for a little bit. Iowa State, they had proven to be a pretty good team over the past couple of years. I think they were like second at Nuttycombe, which is basically like pre-nationals. Like all the best teams are there, and they pulled up with like a second place finish, and they were like, I think, top 6 that year at NCAAs. And I gave them a look. Really cool guys. It reminded me of home, a little bit of Indiana, cornfields and dirt roads and super.
That's about it.
Tight knit. Yeah, that's literally it.
Nice and flat.
And, I felt like that was trustworthy, but Carlson had a proven track record of making runners better, and I really wanted that. And more than anything, I wanted a lot of training partners. And here I had that. I could trust it, and I could trust his training. And everything's worked out really well so far. And I took my visit, and I really like the guys. I like the house. I'm in that house now, living there. It was only 4 spots, and I got one of them, so it's pretty nice. I'll be living there next year, and I'm a great fit. Better here than I was before. I feel like maybe I lost a little bit of myself at my previous school, but I feel like I found it. I'm back in my groove. Little Gabe, I'm him, we're back, and we're showing out. So better environment, better team, better coaches. It's nothing but duds. Beautiful, beautiful skylines too. I gotta love those mountains. So.
100%, dude. I mean, I'd never go back to Indiana. You know what I mean? Like I say that, obviously there are, I guess, a couple of scenarios where it could happen, but like I have no plans, no desire to go back. I love Tennessee. It's beautiful, my man. That has to be tough though, because you grew up in Indiana, right?
Yeah, I did.
You grew up in Indiana. We said at the beginning in the opening, you're high school state champion in Indiana, Gatorade Player of the Year. That's got to be tough to leave all that,
It really was. I mean, Indiana was my home. That's all I really knew, honestly. I mean, I've been to a couple other states, but Bloomington, a beautiful city. I didn't realize how great it was until I was traveling to other places. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't in love with Knoxville the first time I came here, but it grew on me, like there's so many sides to it. But when I was going to Chicago, like 7-8 times a year, because we were only 45 minutes away from it, like I was comparing it to that. And maybe that's a little unfair, but I think I've come to love this little southern country town and the people in it. So
never thought you'd be a southern, did you?
I didn't, but I'm liking it. I'm doing pretty well. So
outside of the team though, and everything that has in it, like Tennessee, the city itself, school.
Yeah. No, I mean, like school's pretty solid. I mean, I'm kind of backtracking a little bit because I did 3 years at Kelly School of Business. I didn't get my degree, which was unfortunate because Kelly School is pretty solid. It's one of the top business schools in the country.
I mean, Haslam's not much different, is it?
Haslam's not too much different. It's got to
be up there too, right?
Haslam's is on the top 100 list, top 50. So
there we go.
It's solid. I'm not complaining, but it would have been nice to get that degree. But I'm backtracking a little bit. I got to take my classes. Pretty similar stuff. I feel like I know. I'm comfortable with how they handle it. It's the same type of website they use for all our assignments. So transition is super smooth. Campus is nice, super easy to walk and get around, and it's very pretty. I feel like it is the traditional like brick style campus, but maybe with a little bit of a twist. It's kind of industrial. IU is limestone, which is really fun, but I think I definitely like this look. The limestone was cool, but I like the campus. I like the classes, I guess. If you like classes. I don't know. I feel like I'm more here to run, if I'm going to be honest with you, but I'm going to get that degree too while I'm at it.
Yes, sir. So let's talk about life after college, because you're a junior. What are you technically right now?
So I'm in my 4th year.
4th year, but you'll have one more, right?
I'll have another year of eligibility, so I'll be back for 5.
So you've got 2 more years, or 1 more year after this year.
Yep.
After that, what are you thinking, my man? What's your goals? What's your dream? What's your plans? If things could go the way you want them to go, where are you in 2 years from now? Yeah,
the crazy thing is like, I don't know if I want to continue running unless it's like really, really paying the bills, I got a really good former athlete of my coaches who's still around, and he's making big bucks, like triple or like 6 figures. So like, if that's an option, then like maybe we can run with it. But if not, then I'm down to get a degree in marketing and take it wherever it takes me. I kind of want to do something in like fashion and clothing, and that'd be really cool. So I got to get some internships and this next summer, and we'll see. I don't know. I'm kind of down to figure whatever out,
So I do want to rewind here real quick. I did have one more question about the transfer portal and that whole experience, because obviously that's a little bit of a risk. Obviously, you're leaving a proven entity there in Indiana. You grew up there. You were successful. You qualified as for nationals by yourself. You leave there and you enter the portal. Tell me a little bit about the process of being in the portal, because we say that for all the other sports, right? Football players going in the portal, basketball players going in the portal. I don't think anyone truly knows what that looks like, what that means. Like, are you actually putting your name on a website and coaches are going there? How does all that work? Tell me a little bit about the behind the scenes of going into the portal.
Yeah, you know, on a more of a nerve-wracking side, deciding to put your name in the portal can be make or break for your season, depending on your standing with your coach and all that. So I was in a very fortunate position in that my coach was retiring and he was willing to send me off and help me find a program that would, you know, fit me best and make me the best runner that I could be. But that's not always the case, and normally it's usually not. So on that end, I know people who have said they were going to go into the portal and their coach just sits them the entire season and doesn't allow them to play. And that can be really unfortunate. But as far as like the actual process itself, it's not too hard. It's like you said, you know, you email somebody and they give you a paper to sign. You enter, you sign it, they return it, and next thing you know, in like an hour or two, your name is on this online website where all the coaches are always scavenging to find their next piece. And as soon as you're in there, you can make the decision to let them contact you or make it you contact them only. And that will decide, you know, just kind of like how you want to go about the process. Leaving it open is probably better, but some people have specific places they already know they want to go. They've maybe talked to a coach or talked to athletes and they said that they could be the missing piece. I don't know. Maybe there's some side recruiting. I don't know what really happens or what goes on, but there is options, and how you go about it can be done very differently. But like I said, I was in a very fortunate position. My coach was heading out and he wanted to get us somewhere where we could be the best versions of ourselves. And kind of like the way that IU had set it up the next couple of years, it just wasn't going to be exactly that place for us to probably be the best versions of ourselves.
So I'm bouncing around a little bit here. I apologize. I want to go back now to we're talking about the future and what you see yourself doing. I remember the first time you came in here and got your haircut and we talked, you mentioned like, dude, I don't even know like how I got to be a collegiate runner because I don't even really love the running side of it. Like I wish I was a soccer player. I think that's what you said, right? Mm-hmm. So like, when did that, talk a little bit about that and become, I mean, obviously you were just naturally talented at it, so I guess you didn't have much of a choice, but that process of becoming a runner.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was really crazy. Like I grew up a soccer player wanting to do that, and I was playing soccer until my freshman year of high school. I first dabbled in running my 6th grade year. My 5th grade English teacher had the same birthday as me, so obviously I thought he was a cool guy. He was the coach, and he convinced me to come out one year, and I did really well. I was like 10th in our conference, and conference then is like 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. So I was like kind of a young talent, and I was like, this running stuff kind of sucks. So I ditched it for a year. I didn't do track. I didn't do cross country 7th grade. But 8th grade, we ended up moving so that my mom could move in with her, what at the time was boyfriend. They ended up getting married. They're doing really well now. I think they just had their like 5th or 6th year anniversary, so shout out them. They actually had it here in Tennessee, which was cool. Maybe we can do that later. But yeah, so I did cross country in 8th grade. I did really well. I was 8th in the state. I went undefeated. And I still was like, man, like this was cool to like make friends since I'm new to a new school and everything. But I just don't think this running thing's for me. And so I didn't do it my freshman year of high school, not the cross country season at least. And then I got convinced to come out and try track, and I did really well. We qualified for state, and the guys were really cool. Still some of my best friends till this day. We'd be rocking. I'm about to go see one of them at Virginia Tech this Wednesday when we go and visit, which is really cool.
So you run there, or you just go to school there?
He runs there, yeah. And I don't think they qualified as a team, but you know, it'll be fun to see him on the trip. So I'm kind of not mad we're not taking a charter, just because I'll be able to visit and see him.
Come on, dude. You want the charter, bro. You know you want the charter.
It was nice. We were literally gone and back in 2 days. It was like the fastest trip I've ever taken. Next thing you know, I was in my bed like 7 hours after my race, which was like record speed, surprisingly. Trips take a while. But yeah, no, that transition, I guess, was pretty rough. It was probably one of my like first ever big life decisions. You know, I think you're going to be a soccer player, and then you decide I'm going to have a lot more success doing this running thing. The guys are cooler. I'm going to have to drop this lifelong goal of mine, but it ended up really working out. I'm here. It's paying for college, and I'm doing really well. Going to be one of the best in the country, and, you know, I'm excited to see where it takes me.
Yes, sir. Now, I know it's tough. You've been in a million races, and it's tough to put your finger on one, but I'm going to ask for a few superlatives here, starting off with, what's your favorite race of all time? Best one. I don't know if, you know, maybe it's not one you won, but what was your favorite race all time? You can do high school, you can do college. Give us your favorite race, favorite experience. Tell us why.
Oof, man, that's so tough. I'm between two right now. I think, maybe I'll drop it back to high school for this one. I had a really big breakout race at Big Tens. That was super exciting. I was expected to do as well as I did. I was third. And there was great competition there. I just had a crazy race, and that kind of set me up to coming here. But going back to one of my favorites, I think it had to have been high school cross country. It was senior year. I was undefeated until semi-state. I lost to this guy who was in my conference. We've been battling all year. The previous year, I was runner-up to this really good runner. He's like an Olympian now. He's really solid. He's professional and everything. But coming into that year, I was supposed to be like the favorite coming in, but I lost at semi-state, and there was this other really good up-and-coming runner. He had broken 15 in the 5K, which was 25 seconds faster than I had ever run. He became the new favorite. The guy who beat me was looking to be a favorite. Somehow they throw me at like 5th or 8th to come into the state meet. And I'm like, that is bizarre. Like, I'm literally the top returner. Why are you doubting me?
Yeah, so, and that one bad race, undefeated the whole time.
So I bounced back. I came back. I lost. I got through it. I came over it on the top. It was a really slow race to begin with. It was at Terre Haute, a beautiful course, super hilly, but it went out really slow, and people who were probably shouldn't be leading were leading it, and then the front pack just started to take off, and it looked like it was going to be a two-man race for the title, but I came from the chase pack, and I was hawking them down, and then next thing you know, with like 800 meters to go, I finally reattached to the leaders from like running in the middle of nowhere because the chase pack was so far back. And I have this super sick photo. It's actually one of my favorites. We're coming around the bend at this historical course, and we're just 3 wide, and we're all in like the same stride, and it's just crazy. And we're all like just like really, really, really good runners. And there's only 400 meters to the finish. And, you know, I just found a second gear, and then I found a third gear, and then I found a fourth gear, and next thing you know, I was pulling away. I was 100 meters ahead, and maybe not 100, but whatever. And I got to do a little celebration, a little point to the sky, thanking God. And,
as you crossed the line, or what?
Yeah, a little bit before. I got a little picture of it. It's cool. But across the line, I was super excited.
Now, did that guy that beat you in semi-state, he get second?
He was second, yeah, which was like relieving because, you know, like me and him have been battling all year. I was like, oh my gosh, if I'm battling with this guy, then like, what the heck am I going to do at state? Like,
yeah,
it was a relief. It was a big dub for us, the region, you know, that part of Indiana. And it was really, really fun to see like all of my thoughts over that past year come, you know, to life. And I'm the first ever state champ for my coach, who had done wonders in my career. And he's just a great guy. So
now let me ask you this though, because obviously you said, you know, you felt a little disrespected going into that championship, that match, that state championship. Do you actually think though, hindsight now, that getting second place at semi-state was probably for the better? A, because you were a little bit more hungry. It sounds like it motivated you. Yeah. And then B, it could have done the opposite for your guy. He was chasing you all year long. Mm-hmm. He beats you, and then he thinks he's going into state. Was he number 1 going into the state meet, and you're down to number 7 or 8?
Like when I was down, like, cause I think I got third. I got beat by 2 people. Like he jumped up. Yeah, he was like number 2, number 1. Like,
so he probably goes in the state meet thinking, I'm about to win this. Yeah. You're hungry as all get out from just losing.
Yeah.
Hindsight's 2020, but maybe that actually worked in your benefit.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm not one to, you know, try to change the past. And I think everything worked out for a reason. Mm-hmm. And, you know, for me, it worked out. I had a tough day after losing that semi-state, but I think if I didn't, I don't know if I would have had what it took to win it, you know, like that next week. Because he came out, he was super confident. And when I said someone pushed the pace, it was him. He was like, I'm one of the best in the state. I'm going to go and push this race. Like, let's go. I can do it. I can win it. And, you know, maybe if he doesn't do that, you know, maybe he sits, he's hungrier. I take the lead, and, you know, he outkicks me. But like you said, hindsight, like, glad it happened. I wouldn't change a thing. It all worked out, and, I got a nice shiny blue ring from it, so.
Yes, sir, dude.
Pretty happy with that.
That's big time, dude. And then obviously that led to being Gatorade Player of the Year as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think everything worked out. I'm not too mad with it. There was a couple like post-season performances. Those weren't crazy for me. I was like 8th at NXR, which was like you combine like 11 states for that, and they take the top 5 individuals to nationals. So I like just missed that. I was unfortunate. There's another race I ran really bad, but it was enough to get me Indiana Gatorade Player of the Year. So I'm pretty happy with it.
That's big time, bro. Now we did best, so we have to flip the table and we have to go to worst. Now it doesn't have to be your worst time because you just ran a slow time, not a big deal. But maybe one like there's a race you wish you could have back that maybe you were in it till the end and you fell off and you missed it. Give us one that you're like, this race, if I could just go back, this is the one I want to redo and do again.
Yeah, no, hilarious actually, because it was here at Tennessee. I was planning my visit and I was going to see coach and I'll meet the entire team after competing here with Indiana. I was just going to stay behind. So the weather is just like god awful. It's terrible. It's like freezing rain. It's so cold. It's like 32 degrees out. Like it's terrible. And I got to get to the line. I don't know what I would have done differently, but man, it was bad. We're supposed to get out like 1:57 to run like a 3:45 1500, which is like a little over like 4 flat pace for a full mile. And I get out and I'm doing my thing with like I'm like 2 flat through the 800, so a little off the front pack, and next thing you know, I hear like the entire Tennessee team just screaming like, "Let's go, Henny! Let's go, Henny!" Little did I know, some redshirting freshman from Tennessee is coming up, sneaking up on my butt, and he ends up passing me and beats me by like 2 seconds at the finish. And after that, I'm pretty sure they told me that coach said he was questioning whether or not I should come here after that because literally in front of my coach that I was about to be recruiting with, just saw me get whipped by one of his redshirt freshmen. So that, if anything, that'll make you question a transfer for sure. But my times in grass times for cross country definitely spoke for themselves. But I was coming off of injury. Like, I'm sure I can make a bunch of excuses, but I only had like 3 weeks of training before that. And so to make that up, me and Henny, that freshman, he's my roommate now. Great guy, super funny. We have a bet that this incoming indoor season in the mile, whoever wins will give that person $100. So
okay,
I want to have my redemption arc. He's done. Like, he got me one time, but it ain't ever happening again.
Ain't gonna happen again.
One of my most embarrassing for sure, but we'll get him back. We'll get him back.
Now I have to ask as well, because I was digging, I was trying to find your stats, your honors, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
You had a chance to get another state ring in the 800 meter, also your senior year, and you got second place.
Yeah.
What happened, dude?
Okay, so here's the deal. that was my junior year.
Okay,
Senior year, unfortunately, got cut because of COVID.
Okay.
I think I would have attempted for like a state record or another state title for sure. I think I would have claimed that. But what happened was the guy coming in was a favorite, him and his teammate, over me and my teammate. Crazy to have 2 guys be some of the best 800-meter runners in the state on the same team. But it was super exciting. And going in, we knew he was going to double back from the mile. We were going to be fresh. We had everything lined up in our favor. Like, we heard that he was throwing up after the mile before the race, but this guy had just won cross-country nationals in cross-country, and he had some crazy indoor stats. Like, I think he had an Indiana indoor record for like the distance medley relay, and he's a dog. So I lost to him in cross-country as well, unfortunately, my junior year. But like I said, he went on to win cross-country nationals, and what happened was we had 200 meters to go in this race. Me and my teammate had led the entire thing, and he was just sitting in a corner, just like letting us do all the work. And we're like, man, I thought this guy was supposed to be good. Like, where's he at? And then next thing we know, he just like pops up out of our shoulder and starts running, balls to the wall. Like, I made a move, I tried to cover it, I just couldn't, and he ended up beating me by like, less than a second. But he's a dog. I can't complain now. He made the Olympic team 2 years ago. So I think losing to an Olympian is like kind of an okay statement. He has a collegiate record in, I think, the DMR. He was a multi-time All-American as a sophomore. He was, top 5 in the 5K. I think he won the indoor 3K. He was a national champ. Like, as far as accolades go and people to lose to, I think I'm not too mad to lose to him. You know,
can't be mad at that.
He's signed by Nike, and he was actually said from like Phil Knight to be one of his favorite athletes. So
wow,
he's kind of him.
If you're gonna lose to anybody, at least it's that guy. Right?
Yeah. I'm not too mad. He's a dog. So.
Not the redshirt freshman Henny.
Exactly. Now Henny, a different story. But that guy, he can give me for the one time.
Yeah. One time for the one time, right? Exactly. Dude, that final 200 to that 800, man, I still have nightmares about those, dude.
No, yeah, it was crazy.
Those are the worst, bro. That's just all guts. They say the monkey jumps on your back, bro, and it's literally you gotta gut that out.
The entire race, the entire pain of the race just jumps on your back, like you said, that last 200 meters. And
that's brutal, man.
It's crazy. Having 3 guys coming down to the home stretch, all looking to break 152, is kind of like nutty for a high school race.
That's crazy. I mean, I was decent, you know what I mean? I was good for my team and for the local, you know, there. But I mean, if I could have broke two minutes, I would have been, you know what I mean? I would have been ecstatic. Like that was always my goal. I came up, 3 or 4 seconds short of that. And I thought, man, if I could break 2 minutes, like I'm going to be at state, I'm going to be all this. And then you guys are over here running, almost breaking 150. Like that's crazy. What's your PR now in the 800? Do you run as well or no?
It's still like 151. I ran it once collegiately and or maybe twice, but I got a PR. So I'm happy with it. It's only a little bit faster, but it's not crazy. I'm like a distance runner now. Coach is trying to make me a 10K guy. So that's like 22 more laps on the track than 800. So
you're crazy.
It's kind of like out of my reach so far, you know. So what about you? What about you have a favorite highlight moment of your track career?
Bro, there's not too many, bro. There's not too many. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I don't have too many like great finishing memories because a lot of times I was the opposite. Like I, for some reason, would always come out a lot quicker.
Okay.
And I would need to, I couldn't grasp the whole like slowing down to speed up until like my senior year. And then finally my one buddy who was really good, I think he PR'd like around like 157, 158-ish. He was down there. He was doing good for high school. I think he won our sectionals, and it was at our conference, our senior year. We were both in the open 800. I think I finished 5th or 6th and he finished 1st. Okay. And that's the first time I was able to do it with him, where I stood back at the beginning and then took off the final 200 meters and caught people. So that was a good one for me for 5th. I think I got 5th place there, where I sat in the back with him. We waited, and then right there, like the final 300 to 200 meters took off. I was able to catch like 2 people and get that 5th place. That one felt good. But a lot of my more memorable ones were relays, because that's what I started off doing. So that's what made me fall in love with track. In the first place was I jumped in my freshman year, never ran track before. I thought, okay, I'm just going to do this to get a little bit faster for football. And I ended up being the slowest leg on the 4x8, but I was fast enough to be on that 4x8 varsity. And our sprinters, our high jumpers, our long jumpers, they were all incredible. We were winning every meet we went to. Literally, I think almost every single meet we went to, we won. And so here I was, the slowest leg, running a 2:13, 2:14 my freshman year on the 800, but I was good enough to be on varsity. I was a part of all these wins. And I was like, this is the greatest sport ever. You know what I mean? Like, I love this now. And so then all those guys were seniors. They left sophomore, junior, senior year. Wasn't as much success, but still had a lot more success than basketball or football ever did. But I started off being only on relays, and so that's what I enjoyed. I mean, I would go to some of these events. I'd run the 4x4, I'd run the 4x8, I'd run the SMR, I'd run the DMR. I didn't do any open events. Like, it was always just relays pretty much my whole time. So there was a lot of fun relays, but never just like a one-on-one, me versus someone else and catching them to win. You know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. Like, my junior year, when this guy was fresh in the mile, I had opted out to drop the mile because I qualified, but I dropped it because I wanted to be on that 4x4 with the boys. And we were one place off from hitting that podium, but you know, I'd take a relay over an individual event like almost any day in track. It's like one of the most exciting things. We ended up winning our regional that same year, and we had some dogs in our regional. Like, we had no business winning that. Like, we had 2 white guys and 2 Mexicans, and like it made no sense. Like, we were in a region where, you know, they had some of the best sprinters in the state, and you know, when we came through with that dub, like, we were high, we were excited. Like, that was more impressive and cool than, you know, coming through with an individual, you know, 1-2 at regionals with the regional record. Like, winning that relay was so much sicker. And, you know, waiting on the sideline to watch your boy come away with the title, like, that's just one of the highest things that could be in track and field.
And you'll get this too, because it's all, you know, track, a lot of people think, you know, especially when it's not relays, it's just, you know, people are just out there running and it's just a straight race. But it's like, there's a lot of thinking that goes on in there, a lot of strategic moves that are made.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of times, like I remember so many times, like when you're lead off, like for example, at the 4x4, 4x8, I had it all structured. Okay, this is, you know, I'm going to get out here. I'm striding here. I'm pushing here. I'm giving it my all here. And you're like, so when you do the stagger starts, you have certain bench points where you want to meet people. So some of the most rewarding runs for me would be, let's say I led off the 400 and coming around that first curve, I had already caught the stagger start right to the right of me. You know what I mean? I did my job. You know what I mean? And then the actual race and the numbers, you'll never see that. And the place finishes, you'll never see that. But those accomplishments right there, where you know how that goes, you know what I mean? That right there will make you feel good about yourself already. You know?
Definitely. Nothing's better than putting your team in the right place.
Or like you get that baton and you're in 6th place and you hand it off in 4th place or 3rd place. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you didn't win the race, you didn't do that, but maybe you PR during that time. You know, it feels good. You know what I'm saying? So, but I had the tendency a lot of times, especially in the relays, where when I got the baton, I would take off probably a little bit quicker than I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I would come off that first lap and be around like 63, 64, which for you, that's probably slow. But for me, it was like, okay, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And then I come back in with my second one around 65, 66.
Yeah.
And now I'm, you know, pushing 210 instead of being at 205 where I'm supposed to be, you know?
Exactly.
So those kind of things can add up and get you, but.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, like every leg of a relay literally has different instructions on how to run it. Like at the 3rd leg, like you might not be running with 12 guys deep as like the first leg would be. And then if you're the final leg, it's like you're racing to win. You're not racing to, you know.
Time doesn't matter. You got to go get it, you know?
Exactly. Like which crazy, which I found out in collegiate running, like, and in championships especially, is like, if you're that 4th leg, you might not be the fastest splitting time. Like we had a 4 mile at like Penn Relays or whatever. And it's just crazy to see like guys who can run 3:50 in the mile come through with a finishing split of like 4:20. And the reason it's so much slower is people will just hit the brakes and they'll literally jog until the final lap or two. Like race tactics are insane. And it's not all the time just like all out sprinting. People will literally position it and wait and slow the race down and literally make it to a walk to get that finishing, whether if it's a qualifying spot or the title. It's actually bizarre. Like
I guess to answer your question, to give you one race, it would be, so we my senior year we qualified for indoor state championships, which I don't know if they were like this for you. Ours were at Purdue. Yeah, we ran them at Purdue, and so I was first off, what's really cool is I was the only one on our team to be in 2 events. I was in both the 4x4 and the 4x8. We both qualified.
Nice.
And I don't remember which ones were which, but one of them we finished like top 15, like right on that border of like 14, 15. Yeah. And then the other one we finished like right on the border of top 20, where it was like top 18, 19. Yeah. And so to be in there, to run at Purdue, those were really cool. Those are probably my 2 favorite races that I ever got to run.
And an exciting part of committing to Indiana for me was like, we would do our qualifications at Purdue, but then the state meet would be held at Indiana's like indoor banked track, and they would host outdoor track as well. So they had the hype. Like we would be there for the most exciting parts of the season. And, you know, that's a great recruiting pitch. And they have like one of the only like banked tracks in the country. I feel like, I mean, maybe there's probably like 25 or 30, but like half the schools don't even have an indoor track. We don't have one here. So that was really fun to train on, and, you know, kind of, like you said, those big championship races in high school, like super exciting to be on a cool college campus and compete with the boys there.
Let's go ahead and check this haircut out. Now we are going to put a little design in there for my man for Nationals. Tell him a little bit about what you want to do. We're going to put a little heart in there, right? Yeah,
so I'm thinking about putting a little heart kind of like on the temple. This thing I do, what I've been doing whenever I get on camera at Nationals or sectionals or whatever it is, I do like a little like heart emoji, love for the fans, love for the family, love for everybody, you know? So I'm thinking about putting a little heart inside for that, and, you know, we'll see. We'll be rocking it at Natty's.
We'll show a picture of it. I'm going to do the heart here after we shut the podcast down, because I got to dial in for that. I want to have to be thinking about talking and asking questions and everything. I want to dial in so it looks perfect. But let's check out this haircut. Without the heart, first off, tell me what you think, my man.
Holy, let's go. This is clean. I just hate when I have hair around my ears, you know? So this is, get me right.
Note about that length on top. You like that length on top?
Oh yeah, this is solid.
Short enough for you? Didn't take too much off?
Good. I like it. It's going to grow nice.
Fade look good? You want it any higher? Look straight. Put that heart in, make it really pop.
Yeah, I think that's what we need is just a little bit.
Just need that little heart right there.
And then I think we'll be good.
My man, appreciate it. So before we wrap up here though, I do want you to quickly shout out where they can find you. Obviously, anyone wants to follow you, see how you do next weekend. But shout out your socials. If you have Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever you use, whatever you promote yourself on, shout it out. Tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram. I'm sure I'll be tagged, but Gabriel.joel.Sanchez. It's my full name. Shout out my mama. And I post a lot of my content on there. You can find me there. Sometimes I'll be featured on my friend's TikTok, but you know, I ain't got one of my own like that. So pretty much just Instagram, you know.
Gabe, appreciate you coming on here, my man, talking it up with us. We'll be rooting for you. We'll keep you up to date.
Appreciate it.
And then maybe, you know, come around track season or something like that, we'll bring you back on or something, get a little bit of an update on you. Keep up with you, you know?
Sounds good. Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, my man. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. We will see you next week. Go Vols. Peace out.
Go Vols, baby. Let's go.